And once again, the world is watching. What this means for democracy, let me be very blunt. When citizens cannot travel freely, when families are broken apart, when trust in institutions collapses, when elections are questioned, and when international confidence is lost, democracy itself is in danger. And that is why the work of the Electoral Reform Coalition is not optional. It is essential. It is urgent. It's a national duty. The question being asked tonight, how are we getting out of there? We get out by facing the truth. We get out by reforming our electoral system. We get out by restoring credibility to governance. We get out by demanding transparency. We get out by protecting our sovereignty. We get out by standing up as citizens. I think just yesterday and today, Ignacio Pumpkin called on us to stand up as citizens. Not as red, not as blue, not as green, not as yellow, but as Dominicans at home. And therefore the call to action to the people of Dominica, this is your country. This is your future. This is your democracy. Do not be silent. Do not be afraid. Do not be divided. Register, reconfirm, engage, participate. Demand better from your politicians and from your government. To the leaders of this nation, I say respectfully but firmly, the world is sending us a message. Our people are paying the price. Our reputation is bleeding. Our families are suffering. Fix this. Reform it now. Engage diplomatically. Protect our citizens. Protect our democracy. You have been charged with these responsibilities. In closing, I say to my fellow Dominicans that I love Dominica. I'm proud to be a Dominican. And I refuse to accept that our people should be treated as second-class citizens in the world because of poor leadership procedures. We deserve dignity. We deserve respect. We deserve democracy. We deserve better. May this moment not be wasted. May this pain not be ignored. May this be the turning point. God bless Dominica and the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and may God protect our democracy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alvin Thomas. Thank you so much. We have a few other persons from the diaspora who will speak, and I want to just mention who they are. We will go in this order, and it's going to be very brief. Just a brief, intervention. And we have Master Edwards, Adeline Paul, Dr. Emmanuel Field, Dr. Even Andre, Dr. Dale Dangulen, Anthony Drago, Donald Arlene, Gabriel Christian. They are UK, Canada, United States. So we'll start with Maston Edwards. So Maston, go right ahead. And follow Maston, we'll go with the Adeline Paul and the rest will follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson Boston. I would like to say a special good evening to the ERC panel, media persons, Dominicans listening at home and abroad. My name is Marcel Edwards. I live in the United States of America with my soul deeply connected to the veins of my beautiful homeland, Dominica. This is the land of my ancestors, my parents that birthed me and grounded me in true principles and values. To be brave, to be strong, and to speak up for what I believe. It is on that premise I accepted the invitation to be part of this forum this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominicans, we are at the crossroads, thrown to a place of despair, where our beautiful Dominica, that land that we love so much, is facing the worst honestly and eloquently. Our Lady of Songs, Ophelia Marie sang, Pa Kite Yo Kwa Dominic Hodnu. But what are we doing when we are clearly losing Dominica? I wish to make it abundantly clear that I am not coming from a place of spiritual blindness, like those who cannot see, cannot hear, and do not understand. That is demonic, it is witchcraft that we have heard in the past and clearly should be rebuked. Today, I come against principalities and powers and wickedness in high places as I stand on this call of action. The recent visa proclamation bans they are already in effect. The embargo of the $5,000, $10,000 or $15,000, the equivalent of 42,000 EC dollars for the application of a visa, which will be imposed subsequently. Dominicans were privileged for decades to walk into the US Embassy with their application in hand and receive an American visa and or green card. And let's not forget, at minimal cost. To digress slightly, I listened to the Prime Minister of Antigua, Gaston Brown, on a live program on Saturday, where he told Antiguans these visa restrictions could be worse and that they have to be thankful for small mercies. What? So he considers that embargo of 15,000, as much as 15,000 US dollars as small blessings. That is a clear indicator. Leaders in the Caribbean are either downright wicked or out of touch. I would say another one like Scarrett. Yeah. So today we are at the crossroads, and Dominicans are affected right across the board. Not only Dominicans who are applying for a visa will be affected, but Dominicans living in the USA as well. And we are also faced with the trepidation since Roosevelt's Scarrett, who placed Dominica in the bull's eye of immigration. We all know too well that every green card has an expiration date. And every naturalized citizen has their country of birth written in their American passport. We must ask ourselves, what happened? What is going to happen when those green cards are due for renewal? And what happens to persons who wish to apply for American citizenship for themselves and children? There are serious cause for concern and reasons for a course of action to remove Roosevelt's Scarrett from office. And let me explain. In 2017, a team of American journalists investigated Dominica's CBI program, which was aired on CBS 60 Minutes. And they stated how dangerous Dominica's CBI program was to the security of the United States of America. They literally accused Roosevelt Scarrett of creating a gaping hole in the security of America, since he provided criminals with Dominica's diplomatic passports to evade U.S. immigration authority. And at that time, when we formed the delegation and went into Washington, D.C., this was the first time we heard of Ali Reza Monfared and N.G. Laxen. Those were two sanctioned busters who had been on Interpol's red list which Roosevelt's Carrot should have known.
True.
Out of that delegation prompted by, spearheaded by Gabriel Christian, and when we saw, we discovered at that point the mess that Skerrit had taken Dominica in by way of our sovereign assets and the gravity of the situation. It was at that point we called for Roosevelt Skerrit's resignation. But as we know, world bosses do not resign. They double down. But what I am saying this evening, had he listened, then we would not have been in this situation right now. Or that situation would have been averted. Notwithstanding that, he had almost a decade to put proper procedures through transparent policies in place that would enhance proper vetting practices and eliminate the possibilities of selling passports to criminals, some wanted fugitives. Seemingly, our government, the government of Dominica, have their plan, it seems. It appears that they were only motivated by their greed and insatiable appetite for ill-gotten wealth and mystery mansions that their legal government salaries cannot justify. Another thing they did, they ensured that the CBI does not live up to even its own expectations in having the citizens live and invest in Dominica like other CBI programs around the world. What we have and what we have seen are well-oiled machineries of shady deals in shell companies that include construction companies and the building of hotels. Explain to me.
Yes, we're winding down because things are getting tense against us now. So can you please wind up?
Nice.
Okay, we will invite now Anthony Dragon.
Boston, I'm here.
And we just want to say we also have 2 minutes, Anthony, 2 minutes, and then from Anthony we go to Matthew, 2 minutes.
All right. Good evening. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, those on the panel as well as those in the audience. And good evening to Dominicans and thank you to the ERC for organizing this forum. I have just a little bit of time, so I will start off by saying 2 things. Governments are a reflection of its people. Government is not imposed on us from the heaven or from the sky. Governments are a reflection of the people. So what we're saying about the government, we're essentially saying about ourselves. We're the ones who are tolerating leaders who have no vision, leaders who have no creativity, and they've been at it for 15, 20 years, and we've been tolerating it. So what's going on has to sit squarely on our shoulders. The other thing I would say is that the same thinking and habits that got us in this sticky situation cannot get us out of it. And so, if we continue to do the same thing we've been doing for the last 20 years, we'll keep getting the same results of the last 20 years. And those results, I mean, is that Dominica has been a failed state on life support for many years now. If it's not for folks in the diaspora saying, barriers and money and giving people top up their electricity and top up their phones and whatever, Dominica would be no more already. Dominicans have find themselves having to travel for the most basic health care, for education, any education beyond our secondary and tertiary. We have to go. For food, I spoke about the barriers that come down. Even water, Dominica is importing water, where there's so much of an abundance of water. And so this latest pass out ban or restriction on travel is just another example of Dominica being a failed state. And Dominicans have to face that reality and look at it squarely. We don't need everybody on board because we will never get everybody on board. But there is enough of us who are disgusted by the quality of life that our people are subjected to that should be able to stand up and to demand and to lead a change so that we can get a better outcome. Last thing I would say is that our objective as a country should be that our people should not have to travel unless they choose to.
That's right.
We should be able to educate our people in Dominica. We should be able to take care, provide health care to our people in Dominica. We should definitely be able to feed our people and give them water without anybody having to travel if they don't have to travel, if they don't choose to travel. And that's what we're facing. What do we need to do to get Dominica, as we approach 50 years of independence, to be self-sufficient in food, self-sufficient in water, and self-sufficient in basic education and health care, and so on. So I thank you so much for the opportunity to make this contribution, and thank everybody who spoke and enlightened us before me. Thank you for Mr. Boston and everybody else.
Thank you, Mr. Driver. Thank you so much. In the interest of time, because time is against us, what we'll do now, we'll take a few comments. Anybody who have comment from the floor, we'll do that. Just shake your hand and walk up the floor.
That's it. Ms. June, are you still on? Tika? Ms. June? Okay.
I'm here.
My friend received the letter 2 days ago. It read, the Department of State has revoked your B1, B2 visa due to new information received after its issuance. To re-establish your eligibility, you must apply for a new visa. You may schedule an appointment and so on and so forth. It also said you may schedule an appointment here to have your current visa physically cancelled. It came from the Fraud Prevention Unit, U.S. Embassy, Bridgetown, Barbados. So he was wondering if that is legit. And I asked him when is his passport, his visa expiring? He said 2033. He traveled 3 years ago to the United States, and he's not sure what is going on. So can you touch on that?
If it comes from, okay, so the email, have you seen it yourself? Like, do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, I just read it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm reading it to you now.
Yes, I'm trying to see if it's correct. So at the bottom of the email, it should have like a signature line, and there should be a phone number.
There is a phone number.
There's a phone number?
Yeah, there's a phone number.
Okay, is the number 246-227-40000?
Yes.
Okay, that is the actual number to the fraud unit at the U.S. Embassy. It should be coming, if you look at the actual email who it's coming from, it should have Bridgetown at bridgetown.iv or NIV. The fraud unit email, if it's coming from them with the phone number, it is most likely legit. I have seen probably about between 8 to 15 people got that cancellation of their visas, Dominicans, for seemingly, when I spoke to them, none of them had done anything to violate their status. They weren't exactly sure why they were receiving that email, but chances are it is legitimate. They do ask you to come and have them physically cancel the visa. My advice is don't waste your time and your money to go to Barbados for them to stamp a passport visa canceled. It doesn't make sense. If he reapplies for the visa, he's not going to get the visa because there's no ban in place. So unfortunately, his visa is cancelled and there is no way to appeal it because of the principle of consular non-reviewability, meaning you cannot appeal a decision made by the consulate. So if they cancel your visa, you have no way of appealing it. The only thing you can do is apply for another visa, which we know he's not going to get.
Sorry. Anybody else who want to ask a question? Come in. We are going to take that up and Melvin will last will take for tonight because we have to end the session. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening to you, Bosso, and good evening to the listeners at home and in the diaspora. Just let me know if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
We can hear you.
We hear you.
All right. Yeah, hey, so I will be very, very brief, and I'm going to start with a comment the attorney Jude made, and she said earlier in the presentation that there are people who had no bearing on the decisions being made by our government. And as a result, they are now having to suffer consequences of the decisions that have been made on our behalf in government. And I know that may have flew over a lot of people here, but I think that summarizes the importance of why we're having this discussion tonight. And the importance of we, the citizens of Dominica, in a democratic society where democracy requires the participation of everybody. And I live in the United States, I've traveled there for school, I am fortunate enough to have had a work experience and gone through the H-1B process. When my passport was stamped and taken from me, nobody asked me whether I was a laborite, a UWPI, free or not. As a matter of fact, that is not registered anywhere on any of my documents. The only thing it says is Dominican, nationality Dominican. So when you go to the embassy, nobody asks you which party do you support. Why that is significant? Because I think in the past we have sat by too long, too many times, and not exercise our democratic right to speak out and be a part of the process. And when things are wrong, say they are wrong. The governance, the true democracy doesn't exist without the participation, the active participation of people. And that is important because the majority of people will change direction and change course. And if we don't, then at the end of the day, when one person or a few people make decisions, bad decisions especially on our behalf, we are all paid to suffer. So we can't now sit there and say we didn't have a part to play, because I've always learned that silence is consent. And if we are silent in the face of injustice, if we are silent in the face of a dictatorship, if we are silent in the face of abuse of our laws, if we are silent in the face of gun violence, if we are silent in the face of young men killing one another, if we are silent in the face of our passport being sold to thieves, rogues, and criminals, if we are silent in the face of one man deciding who to go up for election, if we are silent in the face of our neighbors being abused, if we are silent in the face of evils in society, then we are consenting to the situation. As a result, we all pay the price. So I would just end by saying the Prime Minister made a call for all of us to unite to change the situation. And I would really like us to take him up on that, join together to do the only thing that is important to restore our democracy. And unless we remove the stumbling block through the election process, through the process in our way, then we will not be able to restore Dominica to a place of stability, to a place of respectability, to a place where our citizenship matters, to a place where Dominican nationality means something, not just to us, but to the rest of the world. I thank you for the time, and you guys have it.
Thank you so much, Lenon. Thank you. We're going to pass a hat around for the contribution because we have some expenses to take care of. So if you don't mind, the hat may pass. You can throw it, do that. Thank you so much. At this point, I will call on Crispin Gregoire, who would wind up and he will speak to a communique that we are preparing to go to authorities in the United States, and their visits that will be made in the future, very soon in the future, to the U.S. from this side of the equation to kind of put our case forward. So Crispin, go right ahead. Crispin? Go ahead, Crispin.
Ambassador, he may not be out now.
What's that?
I'm not seeing him on the, he may not be on. I'm not seeing him on the ledger here. He may have dropped out.
He's on. So
He's on there. He's on. He's muted, but he's...
So go on, Crispin.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. He is on. Yes. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. We just want to say thank you for coming out. Those of you who came to the hall, and of course for those of you who listened via the various media platforms, and of course those of you who listened on the radio. We want to thank you for that. And as I said earlier on, we will prepare communicate and trips will be made to Washington pretty soon. So our case or our side of the matter will be presented. So we are well connected with a few people and we can just explore what can be done to get us out of there. So again, thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a good night rest and we continue to keep in touch with you. Thank you, NO, thank you, DNO, thank you, Q95, F Radio, FM, and PBS, who were here with us. So thank you, and God bless you all.
On behalf of Emma News, we say thank you for joining us here this evening. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you.